Good morning everyone, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lizzie and today I'm going to do a bit of an impromptu reading vlog. So this weekend, or sort of this long weekend, Thursday to Sunday, is the Bookly readathon. Now Bookly is the app that I use to track my reading. I'm clearly not sponsored, but they're not sponsoring me. I just really like it. It's a really good app. And they host quarterly readathons where the goal is just to read as much as you can over those 4 days. So this time round, the goal is, I think the minimum is 400 pages over 4 days, but there's like stretch goals for, I want to say 600 and 750 pages. I'm hoping to get past the 400 without too much difficulty. And if I get further, then that's great. So first of all, the books I'm reading at the moment, I haven't actually started this one, but it is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Niveau, and we're reading this for my book club's October and November pick, so I'm very excited to get into it. It's much shorter than I thought it would be, but I think that's good for a readathon, you know? You want something sort of quite short that you can kind of whiz through. This is I think it's inspired by The Great Gatsby, and has some fantastical elements to it as well. I don't know much about it beyond that, but I'm very much looking forward to reading it. There we go, the lighting's doing strange things if I bring this forward. And then I really should read some more of this weekend. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I've been trudging through this all month so far. It's the 14th today, so we're halfway through, nearly halfway through October, and I'm nearly halfway through Moby Dick. It's not the most riveting read, you know? It's pretty boring. It's pretty boring. But I'm determined to read it. I'm so determined. So yeah, I think we'll try and read some of this. I'm going to try and read some of this. I'm going to read The Chosen and the Beautiful. So yeah, I hope you're all doing very well and I will catch up with you later. Hello everyone, it is Friday evening, so quick update. I have finished The Chosen and the Beautiful. I really enjoyed it. It was much more Gatsby-esque than I thought it would be. It was much closer to the original Great Gatsby story, and I thought the way that the author incorporated the Great Gatsby story, or even not incorporated because the plot was The Great Gatsby, the way that she approached it I thought was really, really interesting as kind of a different perspective, and also exploring a lot more of sort of flapper culture in the 20s. I enjoyed some of the fantasy elements. Some of them I wasn't sure about. I wasn't completely sold on. So I think I would have preferred for it to be a bit more magical realism style. But apart from that, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good fantasy book. It's not too long, a bit like The Great Gatsby, not too long. So I just sort of read it fairly quickly, which is always nice. I do like a good short book, as much as I need to get around to the longer books on my shelf. But yeah, so it was quite a quick read, but it didn't feel, sometimes with a quick read you get halfway through or you get to the end and you feel like you're halfway through, but not this one. It felt like it was the right length for the book. So yes, lots of interesting ideas, lots of new approaches to The Great Gatsby, which is always good. So I have a feeling, I think The Great Gatsby has only just become public domain, so I think this is probably one of many Great Gatsby inspired things that we can expect in the near future, which I am a-okay with. I did realise I need to reread The Great Gatsby because I've read it once a few years ago. I remember very little about it, and even less about the plot. I remember very little of like the themes and the characters and things, which are of course the most important part. So I need to reread The Great Gatsby. I did find myself referring to the Wikipedia article a few times while reading this one, just to kind of get my bearings and Also, I think it's nice to know when you're reading a retelling, it's nice to know which beats of the source material they've kind of stuck to and where it's all come from and which themes they've picked up on. So yes, very much recommend. I look forward to discussing this with book club. I have made no progress on Moby Dick. I mean, it's just really boring. It's really boring. I'm really struggling with it. It's not holding my attention in the slightest, but I am determined. I am determined to read it. So I'm going to try and read some before I go to bed tonight. And I'm going to take it with me to work tomorrow to read on my break. I have quite a long break on a Saturday morning, so I'm going to take it with me to work. And I'm not going to take my Kindle, so I'm not tempted to read something different. I will read this. I might pick something different up tomorrow evening, just so I've got something else to kind of finish out the readathon on. But yes, I am determined to read some of this. So we're halfway through the readathon. The goal of reading 400 pages. So far I've read, let's see, how long was The Chosen and the Beautiful? 262. I've read 262 pages. So we're past halfway. On the readathon. So yes, I'm gonna head to bed, early start tomorrow, and I will speak to you tomorrow. It is Sunday. I forgot to update you yesterday, but I read 130 plus pages of Moby Dick. I finally feel like I'm getting somewhere with this book. I was stuck halfway for so long, and I feel like we're past the halfway point now. I did briefly entertain fantasies of finishing this today. I mean, it was never going to happen. I fully forgot that I had Evensong tonight. So I'm not going to finish this today, but I'm going to try and make some more headway. I want to read, let's see, where am I? Okay, so I'm on page 406, and the whole thing is like 600 and something pages. Oh, just under 600 pages long. So it would be nice to read another 100 pages. I don't know how realistic that is, but I'm going to give it a good go. I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm enjoying it. It is happening. There's a lot about whaling. Like a lot. And I mean, I know that's what the book is about, but as in like, there's a lot of just factual things. It's a lot. And very little of the high stakes man versus whale that I thought there would be. We haven't seen Captain Ahab in ages, basically. So maybe some of that will happen towards the end. I was chatting about this to my brother the other day, and he reminded me of the scene in Parks and Rec when Ron is like, my favourite book is Moby Dick. I hate metaphors. Moby Dick is my favourite book. No frou-frou symbolism, just an honest story about a man versus an animal. And I've never felt more in agreement with Ron Swanson. I agree with him on many things. This is one of them. I mean, it's all a big metaphor, isn't it? But you know, there's a lot about whales as well. Like a lot. It's a lot. But I think we've got back to plot. That was the problem, is like the whole middle section of the book is basically just, here's some facts about whales, many of which are no longer hold up due to more recent scientific discovery. So that was a slog. But the end is in sight, I feel. I mean, there's still 200 pages left, but the end is in sight. So yeah, hopefully going to read some more of this today. Well, I'm going to read some more of this now. And I will let you know at the end of the day, the end of the readathon, how far I got. I'm determined not to pick up another book instead. No more books until I've finished this one. I shall talk to you later. Hello. A little bit of time has passed. A few hours, but not like the day. It's later on Sunday, basically. and a minor miracle. I finished it. I finished it. Yeah. Moby Dick, read it. Never have to read it again. So yes, I finished it. I wouldn't say I was skim reading towards the end. I definitely was like, I wasn't taking my time. The last few chapters I did slow down to kind of like, because a lot happened in the last few chapters. Nothing happened for the other 130, but the last few, a lot happened. So I did sort of slow down and concentrate for those. I was like, the only way I'm going to drag myself through this book is if I just take in what I can and just keep on going. Can I say this book was my white whale? Can I say this? Sure, I've earned that right, even though I'm probably using it wrong. Finished, bossed it, read it. You know, sometimes when, I don't know if anyone else does this, if I finish a book and I can't quite put my finger on why I didn't enjoy it, or I can't quite articulate what was going on with this book for me, then I will sometimes look at Goodreads reviews and just read loads until I see one where I'm like, yes, that's how I felt about this book. So I did that because I was like, I don't know how I feel about this book. I know how I feel, but I couldn't articulate how I feel about this book. And there was a review that basically said, it's full of amazing stuff, but I just couldn't enjoy it because it was so boring. And that's where I fall. I think if I had felt more engaged with this book, I would have enjoyed and got a lot out of the different themes that are raised throughout. And to be fair, the first 100 or so pages, again, where things are happening and I felt engaged with the story, then I did enjoy the kind of themes and discussions that were brought up there. But it was just so boring. It was just so boring. So much about whales. So much. Just so much. That being said, I mean, this didn't make it less, it maybe made it less boring. One of the things I did kind of like is there was a little bit of, if it was published today, we would call it like multimedia elements, where some bits were written as if they were excerpts from like almanacs, some bits were written as if it was part of a play. It kind of varied the writing style. So that did keep me a bit more interested, because occasionally I'll be like, oh, it's a play now, okay. I'll be like, oh yeah. So yeah, I have read it. It is done. I haven't done any of my reading journal, core pile, anything yet, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to wrap up this vlog here because I finished it. This is the book all year. I've been like, I want to read Moby Dick this year. I want to read it this year. And I have read it. So excuse my jubilation in having finished it also, because it was so boring, but I finished it. Yes, so the readathon, there are a few hours left. It's only 4:20 on Sunday, but I am going out this evening. And frankly, I don't feel like reading anything for the rest of the day after reading 200 pages of this. But in total, over the 4 days, I have read 610 pages, which is amazing. I'm really chuffed with that. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me on a bit of a mini reading vlog for the Bookly Readathon. I hope that whatever you have read this weekend has been good, that you've enjoyed it, and I will speak to you next time. Bye!